This video today is half educational, half just for funsies. We're going to be doing a little crochet project experiment. Hello and welcome back to Lucky Day Crochet. Today I'm going to be making the same project 3 times, just a plain little sphere, something super simple that can be made in less than half an hour. And I'm going to be trying a different yarn over or yarn under method for each one to settle the debate once and for all of which method is the best. I'll walk you through the pattern with the second one, so skip to that if you want to make one for yourself. The first one will be made with the classic standard yarn over single crochet. And then I'll do a yarn under, yarn over version. And the last one will be a yarn under, yarn under. Normally for amigurumis, I would size down the hook, but just for science sake, I'm going to be using the recommended hook size for all of these little spheres. I already know that the first one will be fine, but not the best, so we're going to skip the process and I'll just show you the finished result. Here it is. As you can see, the stitches aren't super tight. You can see the stuffing on the inside. And spoiler alert, this one is also going to be the biggest one out of all of them. It's pretty hard to measure, but from a bird's eye point of view, I would say that is at least 1.5 inches, but closer to 2 inches. 1.75 inches, maybe. So that is the first one. Alrighty, so now we're going to make the second one. And this is the yarn over, yarn under method that I usually use. And so to make the little dude, you're going to start with a magic ring and chain 1. And now we're going to make 6 single crochets for round 1. We're going to yarn under, pull that through, and yarn over. Yarn under, yarn over. I'm going to do 6 single crochets just like that. And now we're going to pull the tail nice and tight. And we are going to be working in a continuous circle, so I'm not going to slip stitch or anything like that. I'm just going to insert my hook into the first single crochet. And now for round 2, I'm going to increase around in every stitch. And I'm still doing my yarn under, yarn over. Pop my stitch marker. And I'm just going to continue increasing in every stitch around. And so I will meet you at the end for row 3. And so now for round 3, we are going to increase in the first stitch and make a normal single crochet in the next. Still doing our yarn under, yarn over. And I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. At the end, I'll have 18 stitches. So I'll meet you at the end for our next rounds. Alrighty, and now I'm just going to make 5 rounds of plain single crochet all the way around. And so I will do a little check-in after every round, but here's how it's looking so far. You can tell it is definitely tighter than the first one, but I'm super excited to do the next one. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so I'm going to do my 5 rows of single crochet all the way around, just 18 single crochets, boom, 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 boom. Row 1, here's how it's looking. And there is round 2 all done. Looking good. And here is round 3. Alrighty, round 4, very close, 1 more round to go. And there is round 5 all done. And now we are going to start decreasing. And so I'm going to decrease and then make a single crochet, decrease, single crochet. And I'm doing my favorite invisible decrease where I'm going to insert my hook in the front loop of the first stitch, the back loop of the second, and then I'm still going to continue doing a yarn under, yarn over, then a single crochet, a normal one, pop my stitch marker back on. And so I'm just going to repeat that all the way around, making a decrease and then a normal single crochet, still continuing to yarn under, yarn over. Alrighty, and so I have filled it with some stuffing, and now for the next row I'm just going to decrease around. And I'm obviously going to continue doing a yarn under, yarn over method. I'm just going to decrease around and I will meet you at the end. Alrighty, and so that's how it's looking now. And now I'm just going to cut a long tail and weave it through to close up the circle. So I'm just going to take my needle and go through the front loop of every stitch, going from the outside to the inside. It is super duper easy. And then just pull it nice and tight to close it up. And then I'll just weave that through to hide the tail. And just weave, weave, weave until the tail is hidden. And here is number 2 all finished. As you can see, the stitches are definitely way tighter. You can still see a little bit of gapping, but that is pretty good. Here's what it looks like with our decreases. Super solid. Our very unofficial bird's eye point of view measuring. This one is definitely way closer to that 1.5 inches. And then when we compare them side by side, obviously much smaller, much neater, super cute. And let's do the last one. We are going to be doing yarn under for this one. And I've attempted this in the past, but muscle memory is my worst enemy when it comes to this. And it's just so tight that I struggle a little bit. But so you're going to insert your hook, yarn under, pull through, yarn under again, and finish the single crochet as normal. And so I find the second yarn under to be pretty tight and hard to work with, but that's probably exactly what you want when you're making amigurumi. So I am going to go ahead and finish this little guy up, and then I will see you at the end to let you check him out. And we'll compare all 3 of our little projects. Okay, here he is. Definitely the tightest stitches out of all of them. Our quick little measuring. You can just see it shrinking every time. This is definitely a little under 1.5 inches. And when we look at all of them together, we can definitely see the stitch size difference. I feel like the last 2 don't really look that different, but you can definitely tell a difference in the stitch tightness. And it is especially evident in person. I don't know if it's really coming through on camera just how different they are. So my takeaway from this is definitely to use either of the last 2 methods. I know that I'm going to be retraining my muscle memory to do the yarn under whenever I'm making amigurumis. But I'd love to hear from you guys. What methods do you use and which one do you think looks the best? Let me know in the comments. I'd also love to hear from you if you have any other requests for future video topics or tutorials. If you enjoyed today's video, then liking and commenting helps my channel so much. But thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, happy crocheting and stay lucky. Bye!